Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 1996 Disney film, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Of course, the Hunchback was voiced by Tom Hanks. He was famous for being in the movie Amadeus. And of course, Demi Moore voiced Esmeralda. Of course, this film, and I have to say, is that unlike other Disney movies, the one big complaint about The Hunchback of Notre Dame is the fact that it's not a Disney movie. What I mean by that is that most Disney films are usually based on children's stories or a children's fable. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is not a children's story. It's more adult. It's a little more scarier, and it's a little more serious than other Disney films. And not only that, because it's not a story that Disney should have, tackled. But at that time, in the 90s, the Disney company was making more and more movies that's not exactly 100% kid-friendly. Unlike other films, I always could nitpick over every Disney film and say, "Oh, this is too scary for kids," or like the scene with the witch, where she's making the wicked queen making a witch's brew, which says they're all hag, and like too intense for kids, or the scene with Bambi's mother getting shot, and Bambi and that type of thing. But you always could nitpick on one or two scenes that's not kid friendly in a Disney film. But the Hunchback of Notre Dame is not a children's story or a children's fable. It's not, and so they're trying to make it, kid friendly. I mean, they did the best they can, and it is good for what it is. It is entertaining for what it is, but you always can get good quality films from Disney, especially with the animated films. But it's not a kids movie. I mean, it's not. If you're like 12, 13 years old or up, then it might not freak you out so much. But if you're like 4, 5, or 6 years old, you're in that age range, the Hunchback of Notre Dame is not appropriate for kids at that age. If you're under 12, even if you're under 10 years old, this movie is not appropriate for those kids. Of course, who doesn't know the story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame? The Hunchback was like a deformed kid who gets adopted by this evil judge, Frollo, and he bans him, and he confines him to the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, and all he does is maybe be the ring, the bell ringer, and I kind of blanked out there. It's probably the bell ringer. And all he does is like swings around and takes care of the cathedral. It's kind of like the caretaker, and he hides himself from the public because he's so hideous looking. Because he's like a deformed kid. Because his mother was a gypsy, and Judge Frollo was trying to wipe out the gypsies from the earth. Because he feels that they put like spells on people, to like them, and all that type of thing. And there's one particular scene where, in the Disney version anyway, where Frollo does a song saying how he doesn't know what to do because he saw the gypsy girl Esmeralda early in the film. But like I said earlier, it was voiced by Demi Moore. And I'm going to get into that in a second because there's a stink with Demi Moore voicing Esmeralda. I'm going to get into it in a second. And then it says, because he hates the gypsies because they're always, like an evil group, it's outcasts. He doesn't like it because they're outcasts and they do all this kind of creepy stuff, like palm readings, and they have spells and they do curses and all this crazy stuff. So he wants to wipe them out. But on the other hand, he's like attracted to Esmeralda. And so, I feel that Esmeralda there's something freaky on me for me to be attracted to it and all that stuff. And that scene was just really, really, creepy. And there was another scene just earlier than that where Judge Frollo was like talking to Quasimodo or the captain of the guards, and he sees like roaches on the side of on the balcony of Notre Dame, and he's squashing them with his thumb, one by one, and they lift this part of the stone, and you see all these roaches on there, and he stops all these roaches, and bam! I mean, it's really one of the most creepiest characters you ever going to see in a Disney film. Well, usually the Disney villains are always creepy, and I think it really started with, like with Snow White, and then of course it gets downgraded a little bit. Movies like Cinderella and Dumbo, and Sleeping Beauty, picked it up for Sleeping Beauty again with the Disney villains, and then now in the 90s, starting or in the late 80s, with Little Mermaid, and then now in the 90s, with Scar and the Lion King, really creepy type scenes with the villains. I mean, really creepy, really scary stuff that may be way too intense for the little kids, like I said earlier. And so you had all that stuff. And trying to make Quasimodo, even though as deformed as Quasimodo is, and trying to make it popular for kids. And they were actually selling, Disney was selling Quasimodo dolls. I mean, who wants to buy a Quasimodo doll? Unless you have to be a collector of Disney toys, Disney figurines and stuff, or action figures. I mean, if you have to be a collector, it's one thing. But who wants to get a 4 or 5 or 6 year old kid a Quasimodo doll from the Disney company? I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta use a little common sense here, guys. And anyway, I know I'm going on a tangent there. But of course, to get back with Demi Moore, with Esmeralda, like I mentioned earlier, Demi Moore was hired to do the speaking voice of Esmeralda. But the problem was that there was one particular song that Esmeralda was supposed to be singing. Let's hear her for, praying, where she's praying for the outcasts. When she first got sanctuary in Notre Dame, she performed a song, or she sang a song, like a prayer for the outcasts. The problem with that is that Demi Moore did not do her own singing. They hired another actress, a voice actress, to do the singing for Demi Moore, because Demi Moore couldn't sing a lick. And of course, Disney does what Disney always does, is that they make the face look like Demi Moore, Esmeralda's face. And of course, Demi Moore is a natural brunette anyway, so they made Esmeralda kind of look like Demi. And you could recognize Demi Moore in the facial expressions of Esmeralda. Of course, Judge Florida was chasing Esmeralda because she's performing, begging for money. He had like a hat. You could put money in a hat if you like to a performance. And the carnival of fools, and of course he knows this trying to get money, from the public, and said, "Hey, don't give the gypsy money," and trying to chase her out. She went into Notre Dame Cathedral, and the captain of the guards was ordered by Frollo to kill her and to kill old gypsies. And of course he didn't want to do that, and says, "Just claim sanctuary." And he was attracted, as was Quasimodo, to Esmeralda, so you had like a little bit of rivalry there. And I think it would have been cool if the two of them got into a fight, the captain of the guards and Quasimodo got into a fight, and they touched on that in the Disney version. I know about the earlier versions of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know there was a famous silent film, like in the 20s or in the teens of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, starring Lon Chaney Sr., which I've never seen, but it would have been cool that actually had Quasimodo, the kind of guys actually had a fight, but they kind of like they got into each other's faces, but that's about as far as it went. And so Quasimodo who's also attracted to Esmeralda, got her out, and she went into the Church of Miracles, where it's the main hideout for the gypsies when they're hiding out for Frollo. And Frollo and Quasimodo left with the captain of the guards to track down Esmeralda, and which they did. And Frollo followed them, and they killed off, or they bumped off a lot of the gypsies, but Esmeralda was safe. And it didn't kill off all the gypsies, but a lot of them were not. Some of them, if not all of them, were killed. And wherever gypsies they were able to rescue, they rounded them up, plus other gypsies from other camps, and they were able to fight back. And of course, like practically in all Disney movies, just about the villain dies at the full big surprise. Major spoiler for those who did not see this movie: Frollo does die at the end of the movie, but Quasimodo does stay in the Notre Dame, but now he's accepted. At first he wasn't accepted by anybody, but now all of a sudden he's now accepted by the people of Paris and the people of France, and see what a sad character he was, and what a sad life he had. Of course, I should mention one other problem with this film is, of course, they even though the Hunchback of Notre Dame is not kid friendly, the original story and everything else, or the older versions of the movie is not kid friendly. But Disney, what they are being, for families, for aiming the movies towards kids, they did try and make this thing kid friendly by having Quasimodo have 3 imaginary friends who is a stone gargoyles that hang over, who are attached to the Notre Dame Cathedral, and one of them was voiced by Jason Alexander, from Seinfeld, and the other one was voiced. One of them was voiced by Mary Wilkes, and I believe this was the last role she had, because Mary Wilkes is more famous for being in the Sister Act movies with Whoopi Goldberg, just a couple years earlier before this movie, and if I don't remember who voiced the other gargoyle, because all 3 of them have speaking parts, and the 2 male gargoyles, one of them was voiced by like it just said, was voiced by Jason Alexander, plus the other male gargoyle were named Victor and Hugo, and of course reference to the actual author of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, because I guess we're honoring him by naming 2 of the 3 gargoyles Victor and Hugo. I mean, come on. I mean, I know little kids won't who see this movie won't pick up on that, but they made a whole big stink over it. That and the fact that this movie was not kid friendly, because there's one too many scenes that will freak kids out. Will really scare the you-know-what out of the kids. That's what the 2 main complaints of the Hunchback of Notre Dame are. But it is I'm not saying it's not a bad movie, but if you haven't watched this video, and if you have real young kids, I mean, I'm talking about under the age of 12, do not show them this movie. Wait till they get to about like 10 to 12 to watch this movie, and that way they might not be so freaked out by it. So that's my review of the Disney version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com, that's all WDY, and that's C.com, that's my homepage, and reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.